Okay, guys, welcome back to Tea with Publicity. Before we jump into the episode, I just want to let you know, as you know, that this episode and podcast is sponsored by Dat Chat. It was popping off last night, let me tell you. Sunday scandies were going wild, and I was posting everything that's too inappropriate to post on my Instagram stories to Dat Chat because I figured, my parents won't look there, or my cousins, or my aunts and uncles, or my friends' parents. So if you want the scandalous stories, download Dat Chat and you can connect with the Tea Tribe. Someone posted their gender reveal video. People are posting all sorts of things. It's a safe space for us all to connect, and you can get a little one-on-one connection with me. So you could either download the app on iPhone or Android, or go to datchat.com/barstool, get more info, and download Dat Chat. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. We have a really, really, really exciting episode today. I am going to recap the live show that happened last week. That was absolutely incredible. Catch you up on what I've been up to, like how I haven't been sleeping and my wild nights out. I want to talk to you guys about this thing that I have coined anxious airport brain, which we'll get into. I finally have a new couch. Then I am joined by Fibula. You may know him from TikTok, but even if you don't know him, don't worry, because I'm just asking him all things boy. Like, I always give you guys my advice, and let's get a guy's opinion. And I think it's going to be really interesting for you guys to kind of hear his single guy take on all of these topics that you guys wrote in. Then we're going to spill the tea. There's a lot to discuss. This is maybe the longest list I've had so far. Kanye discussing Kim publicly. JUMA blocked me. Thurston has a new boyfriend. I want to talk about how she's handling that. I watched the Colton Underwood documentary, and I watched the new Sex and the City, just like that. So we will discuss that as well towards the end of the episode. So let's get into things, and I'll take it away. All right, guys, Tea Tribe. Where do I even begin? Because last week was the best week of my life. I'm not even kidding. It was so fun having the live show. If you were there, you know. If you weren't, I'm so sorry. I do want to eventually go to different cities because it was the time of my life. I don't know why. I just had the best time ever. It was just really, really, really exciting. I think the thing, obviously have some learnings. The thing that I was most excited about was the fact that I put in place the after party, because I think if it wasn't for the after party, I wouldn't have had time or the opportunity to connect with the Tea Tribe one-on-one. So that was major for me. It was major. And getting to talk to you guys, take pictures with you, hug you, connect, it was just a dream come true. And I love how many people were able to make friends and meet each other and get in text chats, and just that's the most rewarding part of this entire thing for me. So I want to thank you guys for coming. It looks like Boston, Chicago, LA, and Philly are my most requested cities next. I'm going to connect with the events team and see what they're thinking. But I definitely want to do a quarterly show in New York, and then hopefully something maybe in Boston next. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Gia is here today. She's new to my team. So if you hear someone on the second mic, it is her. Hello,
Hey.
Gia. Hi. Gia, if you guys saw the tall girl running around at my live show with the camera, it was her.
I was stepping on people's toes and bumping into people.
I was third day on the job, and she's killing it. It was so fun. She got to really see it in real life. What was your gauge on it? Did you think it was fun?
Oh, I thought it was great. Yeah, it went so smoothly, and I feel everyone had a really good time. The best part about it was that it was so engaging.
Yeah.
Everyone, the fact that so many people got to stand up and talk, that's so fun. So
that's the most important thing for me, because I was nervous to go out there alone and not bring guests on stage, since I am a one-man show. I was are people going to want to raise their hands? And everyone did. So now that gave me more confidence for my next live show to be okay, I don't need my guests to be out there with me the entire time, because the Tea Tribe will talk to me, and I've got this on my own a little more. So I think it was just such a test and learn for me, and it was so exciting for me to realize that. So aside from the live show, well, actually the live show, I guess, kind of sparked me not sleeping. So for nights leading up to the live show, I kept waking up at 4:30 a.m. and then not being able to go back to sleep. I guess it was nerves. I also got my period, so I think it might have been like a little bit of hormonal insomnia. Guys, sorry if I keep tripping over my words this episode. You know I normally don't do that, but my nose is a little clogged, so I'm like needing to take more breaths. But yeah, so I wasn't sleeping super well leading up to the show. Then the night of the show, we literally blacked out and closed down the bar at the after party. I remember them all of a sudden, like the lights were on and they were like, you guys have to go. And we were like, oh, whoops. Also, really, I promised you guys reality TV and influencer guests, and they freaking delivered. I didn't want to say anyone's name ahead of time because I didn't want to like overpromise and then they back out. But some did back out, but then some joined in, which was amazing. We had Mackenzie Dittman, who's been on the pod, and Kanye from Love Island. They were incredible. We had Rod, Erica, Kate from TikTok. Fibula came to the after party. Greg from The Bachelor was there. People were thirsting over Greg.
Oh my God, he had so many girls surrounding him the entire time.
I went out with him twice this weekend, and like it never stops.
I mean, he is just so cute.
He's really cute. Yeah. And I have to say he's really nice.
So nice.
Yeah, I'll tell you more about that. So after party, they kicked us out. And then the next day, that was Wednesday. The next day I was like, I'm dead to the world, but I still was on such an adrenaline rush that I literally couldn't sleep. I was like hyped up. So I woke up at 7 a.m. after going to bed at 3:30. Like I was out of control. So then Thursday I tried to sleep, still couldn't. Friday rolls around. I go on my friend Rod's podcast and he's like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, I'm going to bed, Rod. I'm going to bed. And he's like, oh, too bad. We got a table. And I was like, who's we? He's like, me, the guys from The Bachelor. And I was like, oh, like, come on. So I went back out Friday night. Greg was there again. Super sweet. What I really like about Greg is that he came to my show not knowing me, not knowing anything about me. He DM'd me after and was like, I'm a big fan of yours now. Like, that's so nice.
Yeah, that is.
And also, he kept addressing me by my name, which I know, like, is a small thing. But kudos to him. I think it's really impressive when you meet someone one time and they're like, hi, Alyssa, how are you? Because there's so many people in this industry that big time you and act like they've never met you. And the fact that he kept like addressing me by my name, I thought was really impressive. And then Peter was there and Dustin, who I know now. And like, I have the exact same feedback about them. All three, well, not really Dustin, but Peter and Greg both have reputations. And I've found them to be nothing but nice, honestly, genuinely. I just think they're genuine guys. So that was fun. So I went to bed. Oh, we went to Make Believe. Then we went to Acme, where I saw Fibula. We could talk about it with him. And then I literally went to bed at 3:30 again. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And one thing that I'll say about Fibula, for all you Fibula thirst monsters out there. Wait, let's see, because he texted me and I want to make sure he's not canceling. Oh, good. Yay, come whenever we're in the studio. He's coming. So, guys, I don't want to give him a big head because I don't like to do that. I don't like to gas up men because I'm like, you should be gassing me up. I get the hype. Like, I didn't know Fibula. I didn't really know his content much. He was at my after party and we were both kind of like, oh, nice to meet you. He has BDE. It's what I picture Pete Davidson to have. Honestly.
I didn't get to talk to him. I was kind of like nervous.
No, because I wasn't, because I don't, like, we didn't follow each other at the time. So I just didn't care. I was like, hey, welcome. But what I have to say about him at Acme, so it's really hard to get in there. This is like really embarrassing. So I was with these agents that represent like reality stars. And one of the agents walks up to the front of the line at Acme. There was a huge line. And she's like, hi, like my client is pulling up with a bunch of people from The Bachelor. And the guy at the door goes, I don't give a fuck.
That's hilarious.
So now we're like, oh, Lord. Like, if they can't get in, there's no hope for the rest of us. So I'm like, let me just wait until they get here and maybe we could try to roll up again to the front. So as I'm waiting, in the meantime, Fibula rolls through holding a bouquet of flowers, like baby's breath. Like comes through, it's a type of flower, holding its flowers and wearing like an off-white jacket and hat. And he just like swags up and he's like, hey. I'm like, hey. He's like, yeah, what do you, like, you want to go in? I'm like, yes. He walks up to the front. He's like, oh, there's my guy. Waves down the guy, hands him the flowers. I go, that's so nice you brought him flowers. He goes, I picked these out of the trash. Hands the guy flowers. We get in. On the way into the club, girls are taking selfies with him as if he's Justin Bieber. I was like, what is this? Like, what is going on here? Walks right up to the bar, gets us all a round of drinks. I was like, this is BDE.
That's
like,
hilarious. How old is he?
I think 25. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's younger than me. But I was like, I get it. I
Yeah.
really get it. And the girls are thirsting over him in my DMs, so we're going to pick his brain. But I'm not going to say this to him. He can listen later and figure this out for himself because I'm not going to gas him up that much. But I was just like, oh, my God, I get why these girls are obsessed with him. Like, I totally get it now. He has a great personality. Having a good personality, it gets you far. So before we get into the interview with him, one more thing that's really funny. So right after my live show, the next day, I'm walking and all of a sudden there's like a bike collision in front of me. Like this girl hops out into the bike lane. The guy riding the bike screams, biker! The girl goes flying. The biker goes flying. I'm stunned. And then the girl looks up at me and she goes, I'm sorry. I almost just got hit by that bike because of you. And I go, me? Like, I'm just crossing the street. And she's like, oh, yeah, I was at your live show last night.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
You're like, I'm not paying for any
damages.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So that was just funny. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, and then we'll move on, is anxious airport brain, as I like to call it. So it's what was happening to me the nights leading up to my show. Let me describe it. You know when you have to wake up for a flight at like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., so you set your alarm and you don't sleep all night, even though you're tired, because in your head subconsciously you're like, I'm going to sleep through my alarm. Or if you have a really busy day at work and you know you have to send an email, you keep waking up being like, did I send the email? Did I send the email? It's called anxious airport brain. Like it's the brain you get before a big flight. And that's the brain I had all last week. And that's why I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah, I get that before exams.
Yeah,
like
you
in
know that
college,
feeling.
When you have like a 9 a.m. exam, I'd wake up at like 7:30.
And you keep checking your alarm thinking you overslept.
Like, oh my God.
Uh-huh. And then your inner dialogue is like, bitch, go to bed. You have 2 more hours. Like, why are you up? So yeah, it's what I call anxious airport brain. Let's get into the interview with Fibula, and then we're going to spill the tea. I have so much tea to spill. All right, guys, I am back with Fibula, a.k.a. Connor Wood. Where the hell does, like, Fibula even come from?
Thanks for having me. I'm
You're
so
welcome.
excited to be here. Fibula, that's, like, the funniest question ever because I think about it. I'm like, I need to make something up.
Yeah, like I broke it once.
It's not cool. So I'm going to tell you the story, and then I'm going to tell you this, like, insane development that's been happening, like, in my head.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the... Okay, so basically when I was in... I used to live in Austin, Texas, and I went to college there. I went to UT Austin, and we go to this festival there called ACL, Austin City Limits. And we've been going for... It was, like, my 12th year this year to go. But in college, my friends and I, to skip the crowd... They'd run up to me and be like, "Can we get a photo with you? Can we get a photo with you?" Because I looked like a child star.
Before
like I had the
you were like an influencer.
Yeah. I had the flippy hair, and I didn't really like it. But then I was like, you know what? I should get some Instagram followers out of this. And my Instagram was...
You manifested this, by the way.
Well, that's what it sounds like. No, it was an accident. But I was like, I need a one-word name. And it started out to be... Because not everything's available, obviously, on Instagram as handles. So I picked Park Bench. Because I was like, it's like, people know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's a park bench. Like, what do you mean? And then I ended up with Fibula after a night of drinking heavily, but just because it sounded better.
It does sound cool, I have to say.
And so then all my college friends started calling me Fibula. And then they started calling me Fibs because I'm really good at storytelling.
And telling
lying.
fibs.
Yeah. So now there's Fibs, and like when I have merch coming out pretty soon, and it's under the brand name Fibs. And so there's going to be a little bit of marketability with the name.
That's so funny.
So it ended up working out. But no, there's no like really cool story behind it.
Hey, that's how some are, though. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, well, I forgot. The whole point of the thing was they would tell everybody I was on Wizards of Waverly Place on Disney Channel. And people would be like, oh, my God. And so they'd open up the crowd and we'd like walk through.
That is genius.
Yeah,
when I used to be a like celebrity publicist, I would be like, "Excuse me, my client's inside." Complete lie. And they'd be like, "Okay, you can go in." And I'm like, "Wow, if you lie, it's pretty easy to just get your way at those types of events. No one questions you if you just act like you belong."
Act like you belong. My mom always said, like, act like you walk in like you own the place, and you know you'll be seated or you'll get into Acme.
Well, I was telling them a little bit in my intro about how you just walked in flowers from the garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I hope he doesn't hear that.
It was still nice.
Yeah.
I was saying you just have swag. Like, you just walked in, you're like, "Hey, man."
It worked out really well. It doesn't get like less cool. Like, it always gives me chills. I'm always like, whoa, that is such a rush.
Oh, and then someone like took a picture of you in line, like as if you were Justin Bieber coming through the crowd. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I forgot about it until you said that. But yeah, and there's something about New York where it's like, I do a lot of stuff by myself here.
Yeah.
It's just like so stimulating to go get a coffee.
I know, it's easy. It's an easy city to be alone in. I feel way more alone in LA, I have to say. Oh, wait, I think we were talking about this.
Did.
I just had a sober thought pop through. You know, when you're like drunk and you're talking about something.
Yeah, we went out back-to-back nights.
Yeah, we sure did.
You and I, and we had fun.
It's true, though. Don't you feel like LA is a little bit more like lonely in a sense because no one's walking around?
Yeah, I like was so excited after I was in Austin post-grad too. And then went to LA for a job, and I was so excited to move to a city because Austin's pretty small, and you end up knowing everybody, and you know which is cool. Like, you know all the bouncers, you know all the like owners of the restaurants, and I was like, I'm ready for the big city life. Moved to LA, I'm like, okay, this is a neighborhood.
No,
like,
it's very different.
Yeah, it's like people mowing their lawns and like like little old ladies kind of just like walking their pets and like families.
Not a big city vibe. Well, it's like big city, but also kind of like suburban feeling in a way.
No,
it's
totally.
weird.
It's like street by street. Like,
there
is a city downtown LA that you can go visit if you want to die, basically. Like,
exactly.
People go there to like, I want to see it's not even like the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's like this, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like
not good.
No, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's actually, you would think New York would be like a little bit scarier.
Yeah,
it's not. LA is like legit. Every man for himself.
I always say that. I'm like, I've never really felt like super unsafe living in New York.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeling safe, like I said, I don't always not feel safe in New York, but there are some times on the subway, I've told you guys, I do feel a little threatened, and that's why I'm thankful to have my Taser on me at all times. You can get the Taser Pulse Plus today and save 15% at taser.com/discount/T. The supplies are limited, restrictions do apply, and just see the site for details. Make sure it's legal in your area. I do think it's just a way to travel around, whether you're in New York or in the suburbs, like I've said, walking your dog, hiking, whatever it may be. It's a way to feel way more comfortable, so you can get your Taser at taser.com/discount/T. Okay, so talking about LA, New York, everything, I want to have you on specifically today because people can go on TikTok and see what you're about. You know, you're just like kind of, to me, the way everyone describes you, they're like, he's like that classic, like frat boy, fun, like likes to have a good time. Are you single? Number one. I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware of the
say
amount
here?
of DMs I got of women being dead serious? So like, I don't have any questions for him. I would just like to know if he could let me know how we can date. I'm like, girl, I'm not your way in here. Like, I don't know how to help you.
Right.
Is it overwhelming the amount of female interest?
Yeah, and it's like such a great problem to have, but like genuinely, I have probably, and if you probably have like some therapists that listen to this, so let me know what this is. But anytime something stressed me out a little bit, like DMs, for example, really stress me out. And I have people that come up to me, they're like, I've DM'd you 100 times. I'm like, it like,
you black it out, kind of.
You can't open them mostly. Like, I'll open them like once every couple days, and it's like, okay, this is too much. And also, like, I'm not the kind of person that would open a DM that's like super nice and be like, I like have to start. I have to be nice back and like.
See, I'm so weird. I'll be like, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Well,
so
if I open up attack. Like I'm gonna feel like I need to respond, and it's gonna be my whole day.
And then the
just DMing people.
floodgates are open. Oh yeah, I've been there.
I mean, I'm someone who has, after this past week, there was obviously a lot of drinking involved and a lot of eating involved and sleeping. So I have 500 unopened texts, and I'm sure some of them are like fairly important at this point. Like anything of actual importance, I've been fully reliant on.
You need
a
like
follow-up
a
text.
secret. You need like a second number for business.
I know.
That would be smart. So then you're like, okay, if anything's going off on this phone, it's like actually people trying to reach me.
Right. Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea actually.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So you're single.
Yeah.
How old are you? 25?
24.
Oh, someone told me 25. Do you like how I like just crowdsource my information?
I do
24.
like it.
We're going to give some advice. Okay. It's very interesting. So this girl wrote in about her friends with benefits, and it doesn't really sound like a classic friend with benefits to me. So I was like, reel it in. I need more information.
Yeah.
She said, let me tell you more. We aren't dating, and he says the reason why is distance. He lives in my hometown, and I moved 3 hours from there, and we matched over Thanksgiving. Canadian Thanksgiving is October.
Right.
And started talking. Then slowly he was like, well, I like you, blah, blah, blah. A few weeks ago, he told me he loved me. I still haven't said it back. But he still doesn't want to date because of the distance. And at this point, I'm putting too much energy into something that's clearly not going to be more than whatever it is. And it's taking a toll on me mentally.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it's unfair to like tell someone that you love them if you don't have any intention of like dating them?
Yeah, to me that feels, specifically that situation feels like, okay, I might be losing this a little bit. Like, let me say something that it sounds manipulative in the sense that like he's just saying something to keep this going.
Interesting.
You only have so many of those, you know, like let me like throw a bone so that I have another 3 months with this.
Like breadcrumbing almost.
Yeah,
like
fully breadcrumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. My thought initially
Unless
was,
he needs like therapy.
I think also
She
like
does.
you could like someone and want to be with them, but also I don't know. It's hard to say because I've always been in the camp of my parents have always raised me like if he or she wanted to, they would.
Right.
Like distance doesn't
Right.
really matter.
Right.
Right? Like just go for it.
I agree, and there's so many examples of successful distance
Mm-hmm.
relationships. But I guess I could see this going both ways. I just don't see someone who doesn't want to date throwing out the word "I love you." Like, I think
It's kind of harmful. It's harmful for the person on the receiving end. I'm happy you didn't say it back.
yeah,
Because it's kind of like a mind fuck.
yeah. I like am gonna try to. I'm genuinely trying to play devil's advocate,
Yeah.
and I can't think of any redemption here.
I mean, I think there is potential that like people act impulsively when they're feeling things.
Yeah,
And like maybe he does mean it, but you have to say to him, like, I would say to him, this is my advice. I would
Right.
say, listen, I haven't said this back to you because I haven't seen any real commitment on your end.
right.
And talk is cheap and
Right.
actions speak louder than words. And if you really feel this way about me, then I need to know that we're going to make this long distance relationship work.
It's 3 fucking hours. That's
Yeah.
hardly a long distance relationship. Like
yeah,
I'm
you're
trying
right.
to.
You could drive.
I'm trying to think of how that like that's my big thing. I'm like, you're fine. Like,
Wait, you're
this is
right.
not
It's
that
3
serious.
hours.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, something feels sketch to me.
And he also
It's not like Zach Brown Band. He's not stuck in colder weather. He's 3 hours away. That's like
Yeah.
literally
yeah.
hop, skip, and a jump.
Also, like, does he just throw that around loosely? That's kind of what I'm thinking.
It is. Yeah, that's weird.
too
It's not
much.
something you don't say in person too. Like
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's why we need
I don't know.
man.
I really
I
wanted
give
to
everyone
have,
the benefit of the doubt.
I wanted to have like a little bit of an interesting opinion on that, but I just don't. I don't have.
No,
anything.
I like that. I like that. Okay, next one. Ask Alyssa. I'm a senior in college, and I have a close-knit friend group. I got with one of our friends sophomore year before COVID a couple times, and then he started getting with a different friend the following year. He's been flirty lately, but I know the girl would be so angry if we hooked up again, but I really want to.
Ooh.
You were kind of there first.
Wait, can you explain the relationship between her and the dude?
She was hooking up with one of her guy friends.
Oof.
She went home for COVID.
Yeah.
When they came back to school, he was hooking up with her other girlfriend. So she's saying, could she go for him again?
I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Don't hook up with people in your friend group.
I know.
That's horrible. You just like, I had such a great friend group in college.
I hooked up with every single one of my guy friends in college.
Do you keep in touch with them?
2 are married. 1 still to this day reaches out when he's like, hey,
Wow.
like, you in town?
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing, but I also think that, like, it for me, like, it was just like, okay, now
It was messy,
if you
I
have
to
a
say.
falling out, you lose like minimum 2 friends because you have to choose when this group is going to hang out with this person. Naturally, you're going to end up starting to hang out with one person more than the other.
Well, it's made it awkward for me because then when they got in relationships, I'm so sure their new people like didn't want to be friends with me because we weren't just friends.
Right.
We were kind of like exes at that point.
It's weird for everybody. It's a selfish thing to hook up with a friend because you're making your friends make that the other friends in the group
But so
make a decision.
She already has though. The damage is done.
I know, but I just think it's messy. So
don't go back there. You're saying.
I say go back. I say fuck it. You're in too deep.
I
I say go back to him. Honestly, I think like it would be. Maybe have that conversation. Maybe communicate.
Honestly, yeah, I think I'd go back there, which is all. I'm not saying this is the right choice, but I'm just putting myself college. I'm putting myself in her position.
The damage is done. What is she, a sophomore?
Yeah, like
You have time.
Like you're in college and you already hooked up with him. I would say to my friend, like, sorry, I was there first.
Yeah,
Done. I've also done that to people. Whoops.
Yeah. No, I have too. I think it's like.
Like, let's all be honest here.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean. It's a messy situation. Like, honestly, like, the damage is done, though. So
yeah. And also, people have done that to me plenty of times. Like, guys I was seeing hooked up with friends of mine or acquaintances. Right. So, it just happens.
To be honest, like, it worries me, this situation, because I think that someone's going to get left in the dust.
I think the friend is going to be, make sure that I have a great thing. Make sure your other girlfriends have your back if you're going to go there. Because what I wouldn't want is for you to go there with the guy and then you lose all your girlfriends and have no support from them.
That's what I was trying to say, but you said it.
Yes.
I would say make a pros and cons list.
Yes. And ask your friends, be like, do you think it's shitty if I do this? And they might be on board with you.
Yeah.
And if you have their support, get it, girl.
Yeah. Also, it sounds like you have a really good head on your shoulders even asking that question.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think a lot of people would like have that conversation.
Fair, like she's weighing it out.
She's like, okay, would you be okay with not? Like, is that gonna long term, like, do you see a future with the dude? That's worth it.
Yeah.
Hallmark movie vibes.
This one's perfect for you.
Oh,
okay.
I'm stoked.
My family's celebrating Christmas on the 23rd. My mom's side is celebrating on the 24th, and we are doing my dad's side on the 25th. I'm 25 and I'm feeling really old. Any advice how to power through a three-day drinking bender? The family is relying on me to be the party girl, as usual. I don't want to let anyone down. Help. I love how Christmas for her is like a 3-day drinking bender.
Seriously. I've ruined so many holidays. This actually is like not the best question for me.
By being too drunk?
Well, I was like, the fun family member until they were like, oh, you were like,
you're fucked
drinking
up.
A lot.
Yeah, we gotta cut you back.
Yeah, so that's why I switched to IPAs because you can have so many less than normal. Power through. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
You could also be fun without like fake it. Like drink half the amount and just be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I have to drink with my family.
Like it's a rite of passage.
Like, no, that like to get along with them.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I think like I just recently did the thing. Usually when I'm drinking less, I just don't even go out. But I've started to like in LA,
like go out sober,
go out and have Red Bull and get like hyper instead of like drinks. So yeah, I think that like fake it till you make it with the drinking.
Yeah, like I think also like you're 25, you've done this before on spring break. Like you've got this. Spring break has nothing on Christmas. Like. You know,
there's a lot of factors that go into that too. Like I have to be up. My mom like comes into my room and opens the blinds at like 7:30 every day when I'm home.
Oh Lord.
So drink water and have Advil before bed.
I think family during the holidays is also a really big topic. I don't know like if anyone else feels this way, but I come from like a nurturing, loving family. But we fight like cats and dogs, like every family. Same. But then I watch TikTok. And these people in these mansions with all white Christmas trees, like caroling together. And like, I'm like, what universe is everyone like the Thanksgiving videos? Like, I'm home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, has like game rooms and this. And I came from a well-off family, but the shit I see on TikTok, I'm like,
it's all fake.
It's gotta be.
It's all curated.
You think they're fighting, right?
Oh fuck. I feel like those families have it worse. Like the richer families, they probably have either less of a connection with their parents or anything
Yeah.
like that, or they fight more with their families.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this makes me feel like shit because I'm home for Christmas and Thanksgiving and I'm about to wring everyone's neck.
It sucks because stuff like that goes very viral because it's so interesting and like it's fun to watch.
It's like
but
taboo.
I don't get how big the 1% is, but it must be huge.
That's what I'm saying.
Because is everybody loaded?
Loaded.
They have so much, and it's like you can see it, like in what they're wearing, what they're doing,
I feel
their
like
houses. Like
I'm around
How are you
people
doing
that do pretty well, and like
Yeah.
no one's living. But you know why? Maybe it's because I'm from New Jersey. Like maybe it's
Yeah.
look what you could afford in New Jersey compared to what you could afford somewhere else.
in Texas.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
a really different standard.
Right.
That's probably actually true now that I
Right.
think about it.
Totally, but it's just so weird how that's like all I see.
But it makes me feel like, does no one yell at their parents? Because like I'm out here, I joke, like my parents will be like, "You're so moody." I'm like, I'm the least moody like genuinely. I'm not very moody, but for some reason, get me around my family, the moodiest person. Like, what about family just makes you want to yell at
I don't
everyone?
know what it is either, but like I'm
They
from
s-
like a small town.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. I don't even know why I said that, but I figured out the threshold of how I get along with my parents. As soon as I get there, everything is bugging me. Like the way they breathe,
Everything.
the way they breathe,
Yes.
the way they chew.
They tell you what to do.
They tell you what to do. They have like opinions on like what you wore, or like how whatever, and then it goes away, and then we have one big fight, all of us in the
Yes.
middle, and then by the time the end comes, I'm like, oh, I'm sad, I'm leaving. But it's like it's
100%.
like starts here, goes down. Like I could put it on a graph.
So
probably.
I really had to work on myself with my therapist to not be triggered by things my family says.
That's
Like, because like they're still gonna make remarks, but I had to learn to just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna react.
Right.
Because I don't want to spend the weekend arguing, and we all get. I feel like we all, you know how to push your family's buttons. That's
Right.
the thing, and you almost
Why does it
test.
feel
people.
so good.
Yeah, it's like you test them because you're like, oh, if I say this, they might react. Let's
Oh,
see.
but then you feel guilty afterwards. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, why would I do that to my mom? Like, why am I such a loser?
I totally agree. So I think there could be a whole, like, maybe I should get like a family therapist on, because all these people putting like these amazing families out on Instagram, I'm like, I don't care how close you are. I'm so close with my family and we still fight. Like, this is fake.
Right.
It's
Totally.
gotta be.
No, it has to be fake. I don't know. I don't get it. And I'm all for transparency in the fighting with your family sense. Like I will literally post like not like stuff I think's funny that
Yeah.
my parents are mad about, but
Oh,
like
and they're like, why'd you put this out there?
yeah, oh my god, all the time. But I'm like, we're screaming about like I can't even remember what it was last time, but it was like I was mad at my mom for never allowing me to be on ADHD medicine growing up. And I was like, you went and got me diagnosed just so you knew that there was
Yeah, so
something
you
wrong with
couldn't
me.
put me on meds.
And then you never got me medication. She like doesn't believe in any sort of. She doesn't even. I never took Advil growing up.
Parents are so weird with mental
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
Like their generation.
Yeah.
My parents, I've like kind of forced them to get on board, but yeah, no, it's tough. And also, I got tested for ADHD as a child. I remember I like had to sit in this little closet in school, but all the other kids were in class like filling out these like graphs. They're like, no, she doesn't have a learning disability. She just doesn't pay attention.
Yeah, that tracks.
Not a learning disability, just stupid.
I had this TikTok that I made a while back, and I was just thinking the other day, and I was like, there was one specific piece of trauma from teachers that I would always get notes on that are like, Connor keeps correcting the teacher.
Stop.
But I would also get notes on, or like, I remember this one situation where this one teacher would always be like, there's no stupid questions in my classroom. But they would always say it after I answered, because I would always answer first. They'd be like,
Stop.
there's no stupid answers. There's no dumb answers. And he would always say it after I answered.
What?
Just something to think about. He would always say, there's no dumb answers. And then I would answer, and he'd be like, just remember, there's no dumb answers in here. Like, everyone, because I was so dead wrong.
It really does a number to you.
Yeah, it does. It stuck with me.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, I'm the dumbass
What do you mean
in
by
class.
that? Yeah.
I was a bad student, were you?
No.
Oh, I was awful.
I was such a good student until college.
I was the opposite. I was good until college. I was bad until college. Because, well, my parents threatened me. They were like, you're a D student, so either you get
Yeah.
a 3.0 or above, or we're pulling you out.
Yeah.
So I just got a 3.0 and floated by.
That's fine. C's get degrees.
Yeah.
I graduated. I went to school in Texas, so my school was like 5A, if that makes any sense. and then got so big that it ended up being 6A, which was like a new measurement
wow.
tactic. And I graduated. There was 750 people in my graduating class, and I was 11.
Oh my
and
gosh.
people don't. They're like, what?
You should put it in your bio. 11th in my class.
11th in my high school graduating class. And then
I was like 325 out of 350.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like don't even know how I seriously feel like something was wrong. But then I went to college, and first year of college, I was like, I'm genuinely not cut out for this. Like, I'm dumb.
That's how I kind of felt all my life.
Yeah.
Not to be weird.
No,
because I'm much more of a worker than I am a student.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And I think that we ended up figuring that out.
That's why we're in the right field.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just because I was in the wrong major 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. See, and in college, I was a media studies communications major with a minor in fashion marketing, and that's why I was fine.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah. I started out engineering, switched to business, switched to something else, and then ended up in advertising, which was communications. I took a class and we were learning about Doritos, and I was like, yeah,
love it.
This makes sense.
All right, another friend group question. Okay, ask Alyssa. So I've been talking to a really nice guy who's also good friends with my friends. I'm not really into it. How do I politely let him know without making it weird in the friend group? I think it's better before something progresses.
Yeah,
more.
I think we could even circle back to what I said. I just avoid it at all costs. It's not worth losing a friend, worst case.
Slow fade it.
Yeah.
Don't have the conversation. Just let it fizzle. Is that wrong? Because that's kind of ghosting. But I think when it's a friend, you don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So I think you could kind of just be like, oh, I don't know. It just, for whatever reason, it just faded between us.
It's a sucky situation all
bitchy?
around. No, I think that there's 2 ways you could do it. I think I've had it happen recently, twice.
With a friend group.
And all of my friends, I've made sure all of my different friend groups are friends now. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, well, this person's going to start getting invited to everything because I do that. And then I either nip it in the bud, and I have said to several people, I'm like, I don't hook up with friends. This is just not going to work. I value our friendship. Just the most mature part about me is that I have adopted this.
So you're not a ghoster.
Hard stop. We're not doing this. And then immediately what you have to do after having this conversation,
but also
invite them to something.
I was going to say, it's also, that's smart. It's also a really good way to meet someone though, through friends. So I think if you're going to go there, it has to be the person you're willing to ruin the friendship for.
Right.
If I'm in a group of friends and I met someone and we're friends, but I'm like, okay, this could maybe actually be a good relationship, then I say screw the friendship and give it a chance.
Yeah.
If you don't see a future, it's not worth messing up the friendship.
Right. You're right.
You know?
I think it depends on who you are. I think if you're in college, it's doable. I feel but
it's different.
For me, I've only lived in LA for a year, and so you want to keep your friends that you're that's my OG friend group now, and so as an adult, I don't really want to mess with my friends.
No, I totally get that.
We have so many access to so many ways to date, and I want to keep it very separate.
That's very true. Are you on dating apps?
I used to be.
Yeah.
I worked at Bumble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So there's a part of me that was I know how the sausage was made, and it kind of turned me off towards it. And then when I moved cities, I downloaded everything, and I was very active. And then with the TikTok thing, it's obsolete because I can't.
No. People probably think it's a fake profile.
Well, I mean, they'll screenshot and DM it to me and is this you? And then I'm then I feel really bad if I don't match with someone. I'm But also, before the TikTok thing, I would have consistent 5 matches or something. Then I got on TikTok, and it's 50 plus. And I'm like, what? Did nobody like my face and body before?
Wait, I totally.
You only like me for my personality? What the hell is that?
That's better.
I know, but
no, because I totally get that because I started at Barstool, and I don't have that in any of my dating profiles because if I do, guys are like,
yeah.
Because to them, I always joke, I'm like, the Barstool to men is like the Bachelor to women.
Right.
You know,
right?
Isn't that the best comparison? So I'm like, I can't put that because then they're coming after me for the wrong reason.
Right.
The second they know, it's bad.
Well, when I was at Bumble, it has you put your profession in it. And so it's never worked for me because then Austin is the HQ of Bumble.
Oh,
and
I knew that. I thought it was San Francisco.
No, Austin. It's one of the only HQs, especially for a giant dating app, or a unicorn company, tech company, whatever. And so everyone wanted a job.
Wait, I'm smiling because I read this DM and I read part of it yesterday. Now I'm reading the full thing, and it's personal. Okay.
Oh, farts.
Ask Alyssa. I once saw a cute boy at Trader Joe's, but chickened out on saying hi. Went home a couple days later and saw on TikTok's For You page that guy was Connor. LOL. How would he have liked to been approached by a girl at the grocery store, or is that a hell no? Hi, Connor.
Hi. I'm always at Trader Joe's, so chances are, like 90% of the time, you can find me at a Trader Joe's. I'll go there with like my headphones in and just like peruse.
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna answer this for you because
Yeah,
it's hard to
please.
say about yourself. I feel like had she approached you, you probably just would have thought she was someone that recognized you from TikTok, not someone that was romantically interested in you.
Right.
So you wouldn't have picked up on the romantic cue. Is
Right.
that fair to say?
No, that's totally fair to say. This is gonna sound douchey,
okay. Say
but
it.
the amount of people, like, I've seen like every like play in the book, so
Yeah.
I probably would have been like, oh, this is like
Yeah.
a very casual,
Uh-huh.
like trying not to say that I've seen you on TikTok or whatever. But I'm always cool with it. Like everyone's usually that approaches me is like really nice, really cool.
I rather people approach me than not because
Me too.
it's more uncomfortable if you feel lurking eyes.
Fully.
Like very,
Oh
just for
my-
you guys to know. Like
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable. Like I then all your friends are pointing and then
Right.
everyone's heads are turning and it's really, really uncomfortable.
I want to show you this video. We went to shoot some, I think it was Mexican restaurant the other night to get drinks, and this girl, we were sitting outside, I don't think she knew, but her flash was on and she was zooming in from across the restaurant, and all my friends were like, "Are you serious?" And she was doing it for like she probably couldn't get the shot or something or like whatever, but I'm like sitting there eating. I'm not Justin Bieber, you know, like
yeah.
I'm like a normal dude, and I'm with my college friends. Like, you can say hi. Like, you don't have to like zoom in on me.
Yeah, true. I'd rather you just come up to me.
Yeah. The filming thing is a little bit bad.
You
Just
probably
'cause It's just like you saw me at Acme. Like I would rather not be filmed.
no. Yeah,
that
like
kind of stuff.
we're drunk. It is not good.
Yeah. But no, I don't. I think that would be cool if she said hi.
Okay, let's do one more. Oh. Confession. My husband's best friend made moves on me the other night at a tequila tasting. He grabbed my hair and pulled it back from my neck and then pulled it lightly. He then asked, "Do you trust me?" We were laying in the living room surrounded by about 7 people who weren't paying attention. As I was laying on my stomach facing the TV, he kept grazing against my breast and I loved it. He also grabbed my hair one more time and pulled it hard. I've not been so turned on in a long, long time. I don't know if he was drunk or genuinely felt an attraction, but this was 2 weeks ago and I can't stop thinking about him. Is this horrible? I want to text him and have some dirty convos, but I know I shouldn't.
What the fuck?
Wait, so it's her husband's best friend.
He's just pulling on her hair in public, like,
And she was into it.
Yeah, that's insane.
I don't
No
know.
friends. No friends is the rule.
Yeah, this episode should be called the one with all the friends
The
fucking
one
each other.
where you shouldn't hook up with your friends.
Stop doing that. Big no.
Yeah, don't cheat on your husband with this
No.
hair puller. I mean,
No.
like
Are you happy with your husband?
this is the thing. You just felt a thrill because you're
Yeah.
probably having the same sex with your husband for
Yeah.
Lord knows how long,
Sure.
and you probably were like, "Oh, this is daring."
It's hot.
Yeah, so tell your husband to pull your hair. Like, don't
Yeah.
date his friends. Like, it's just not going to end good for anyone.
No. And she also was never like, he's really hot.
Yeah, like she
Or he
just
has a good
liked
personality.
the thrill.
Yeah, she liked everything that was happening and probably the situation that it was happening in.
Yeah.
Which maybe.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is savage, but like we're animals. I always say this because like I do want to be monogamous, but
Right.
like I do believe in my head like we have like impulses.
Yeah.
And so obviously it's gonna feel good when someone's flirting with you or giving you attention
Right.
or tempting you. So I don't think it's bad to like have a feeling. It's bad to act on the feeling.
Right.
You know?
Right. Maybe also. No.
Tell
It's
the
gonna-
tell the
I was gonna say tell the
husband.
tell the husband.
No, because she likes it.
Maybe he likes it too, and maybe they could have a little
Oh, a menage a
exploration.
trois.
Yeah, they could put a pineapple out by their front door. Did you hear about that?
No.
So apparently, I think I saw it on TikTok.
Oh.
If you put a pineapple outside, it means you're a swinger.
I get a lot of swinger questions. So
Yeah.
you just started following me, but you
Yeah.
will see Sunday Scandies. People
Okay.
write in scandalous confessions.
Yeah.
And someone wrote that they were a swinger, and I've never received more DMs in my life of people being like, who, what, when, where, how. Like people are fascinated with the logistics of swingers. I need to do a whole episode on it.
You have to, because I went down a hole. I was on Swinger Talk.
Yeah, there's Swinger Talk.
Yeah.
Wait, that just unlocked a memory. I was
Did
on.
you see something?
No, guys. I was on Garbage Disposal Talk last night, or Dumpster Diver Talk. Have you ever been there?
In a way, but I'm not gonna cut you off. I'll tell you what I was on.
So I don't know how I found myself there. It's like this normal girl, blonde, like normal. She doesn't pay for anything. She dumpster dives. So she'll go to like Whole Foods when they throw out products that aren't expired, and she'll get like hundreds of that. Like she'll get like 100 things of food, and she'll be like, this is my favorite dumpster dive things that I've gotten. A Keurig that was new, a flat screen TV, a this, a that.
She must be hanging outside an influencer's house that's getting a lot of PR.
It's literally the most wild thing I've ever seen, and everything came new packaged in the box. Like nothing's opened, and she's like, I don't need to be doing this. I have a great job, but like I'm saving a lot of money.
It's amazing and it's fascinating. I don't know what to say. Like
I couldn't do it.
No, I couldn't either.
I would feel too dirty. Like I would
Right.
feel. I don't want food that's been in the trash.
It's also really sad.
It's sad. That's what I was gonna
like,
say.
why are you throwing out like all this good food? Like, donate it or something.
Point. She's like, her whole point is like, she says she donates like majority of it because she
yeah.
doesn't need it all. So her whole point is like to raise awareness
Right.
for like
I was
waste
gonna say, I
in
think
the
there's
U.S.
a bigger story there.
Huge story
Yeah.
because the amount of stuff this girl
Right.
pulls out of these like waste
Right.
bins. Guys,
It's sad.
look on Dumpster Talk. Okay, back to Swinger Talk.
Yeah. Well, I was on river diving talk where the guys these guys' whole professions, and they're so successful. It's
Wait,
like
to just dive and like find old rings and
like
stuff.
they go to rivers where people tube, and it's
They
like
find,
all
like,
the drunk people.
watches.
It's so many watches, so many iPhones, but they find like bizarre stuff too. Like I'm just like spacing on what they find, but it's like their followings on like
There's a niche for everything on that app.
it's because it's like you just get so fascinated and sucked in.
It's
I was-
wild.
Yeah, I was on prison TikTok for the longest time. And I was like, this looks so fun. I want to go
They're
to
a
jail.
crew.
Yeah, I want to go to jail for a little bit. What can I do for like just a small charge so I can go to jail for a week? and
Yeah,
hang out with
so
them?
someone sent me this girl on TikTok that has a swinger account. So I think I want to ask her to come on. We got to dive into this
I
because
think you
I'm
should.
fascinated.
I think you should. But the pineapple thing freaked me out because then I went to visit my parents. My parents didn't have pineapple.
There's one on the counter.
Yeah. No, they put them like outside by their garage or by their
Yeah.
like front door. I'm driving through my neighborhood and there's like a lot of like pineapple-esque kind of statuettes that could be like a fleur de
You never
lis
know.
or like an artichoke, but it's like a statue, just
Yeah.
decorative. I'm like,
It's my neighborhood swing or
yeah.
what?
It looks like the Smiths are getting really busy down the street. But it's fascinating and super weird.
Fascinating.
I think that long term, obviously I'm not in a place to give marriage advice by any means, but if that would be something that you guys would be interested in exploring, it could be
different strokes for different folks. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
Yeah.
Like I personally I don't think I'd be open to it because it's probably an ego thing, I always say.
Yeah.
Like I bet we all could do it back to
Yeah.
us being fucking animals, but I
Right.
think ego, I wouldn't want to be like the swinger couple.
Right. No.
Do you know what I mean?
I
It's more like you don't want to admit that you're the swinger couple.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. Like
you judge yourself
like,
more
enjoy
than
it, but like that's a
Yeah.
never would want to kink shame, but I do think that some
I agree.
kinks
Like
are-
if it's for you, it's for you.
yeah, no, totally.
And most of the people that message me say they've never been happier in their relationship.
Yeah. I'm saying more power to them, honestly. Like
More power to them.
good. I'm glad.
Thank you for getting weird with me.
We could get weirder.
He's like, we can keep going. Where could everyone follow you, stay up to date, and just, slide into your DMs?
Yeah, come on over. I'm Fibula, 1A, just how you spell it, on Instagram, and then 2 A's for TikTok, YouTube, Twitter. And I have a podcast coming out.
Yeah, you do. I wasn't sure if you were allowed to
Yeah,
say.
yeah, I do. I mean, whatever promo we can get. It's coming
Yeah.
out next month, end of the month. It's called Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast. It's with myself and Lady Efron on TikTok. Really excited.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Thank you so
Yay.
much for having me on.
Thanks for coming
That was
on.
so fun.
Thank you. Awesome.
Bye.
All right, guys, it is time to spill the tea. If you follow me on TikTok, you saw, actually Instagram too, I went on a little Kanye rant, and I just need to reiterate it. I think it is highly inappropriate the way Kanye is going around publicly declaring his love for Kim, saying he wants his family back together when he allegedly is the one responsible for breaking the family up. I think from like a kid's perspective, it is so rude and awful for him to publicly in front of his kids be like, I want your mom back and she won't have me, because it paints Kim in a negative light when we don't know what went on behind the scenes. And I just think as like a father, you can't paint a picture like that. And I'm sure he's just trying to do things in a grand Kanye way to win Kim back, but I'm finding it highly inappropriate. And I just hope that we have some justice for Kim, because it seems like she's trying to move on. She legally filed to be separated at this point. I think she's like, stop. Like, she's still supporting him in his endeavors. She still shouted him out when she accepted an award last week at the People's Choice Awards, but he needs to stop begging for her back when I believe he was the one responsible for ending their marriage. That's that. JUMA, they blocked me. I don't know why. I think I know why. I stand by why, if that is true. So I think, because I've been racking my brain, what did I say about JUMA? Because I do talk shit about them, but not on air. So I was like, what did I say? And then I realized, I think on Hannah Berner's podcast, I said they were toxic. I'm going to double down. I do feel that way. That said, I don't not read their stuff. Like, I think, I want to clarify. I think I spill tea when it is public knowledge, period. I knew Kylie Jenner was pregnant months before she announced it. Did I say it? No, because I respect a pregnant woman. I knew so-and-so was hooking up. You know, even with Winter House and Summer House, I know all these things. Do I say it? No, because it's not out there, and I don't think it's my job to break the news. So for me, I think it is toxic when media accounts, and it's not just them, I don't want to single them out. There's another account that I think is 10 times worse than them. I think it's really toxic when information specifically around pregnancies or sexual orientation or someone's sex life, when it's put out there, it's too much. I get it. They're public people. We deserve to know, blah, blah, blah. Some things are better left unsaid. It's a complete invasion of privacy on some levels. That said, there are other things I find super interesting. And like, we all love drama. So I'm not shaming you for reading these types of accounts. I also wanted on record, I asked them to come on my old podcast, the Publicity podcast, probably 2 years ago. So if they ever fire back saying, well, you wanted us on your podcast, I did. Since I had unfollowed them and decided I don't really want to consume this kind of media because I personally find it to be rather toxic. So I do stand by what I said. That said, I don't think they really needed to block me. It's not anything personal. It's just, it's how I feel. And I think that I can go on a soapbox, because I find that accounts like that silence influencers from speaking how they feel, because we're so scared they're going to dig up dirt on us, and they hold control over us and power over us. And I said what I said. It's nothing personal. JUMA, if this gets back to you, I think a lot of what you do, I think they've actually changed their ways. I think a lot of what they report on now is probably a little bit more like kosher, but that's that. I mean, I'm not coming for your business. I know people are always going to read it, and I even read stuff that's sent to me. So no harm, no foul. I was just more so surprised when everyone on my Instagram was getting tagged in a JUMA party. So I was trying to click their page, and I'm like, why can't I click it? So then I like checked from my Finsta, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't click it on my podcast page, and I couldn't click it on my regular page. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm blocked.
That's insane.
Little old me. I don't even think I'm that big of a shit talker. So that's why I think I was most surprised. Yeah, so I would love to hash it out with them, honestly. I don't like having enemies. Like, it's just not, it's not a vibe. I like to be friends with everyone. Okay, now I am going to talk about Katie Thurston. I'm like such a hypocrite because I'm like, don't talk about it. But again, this is public. That's my point here. Katie Thurston is being seen out with her new boyfriend. I forget his name. Do you know his name?
John.
John. And listen, move on. I think it's fine if you want to move on with someone new. From a publicist, I'm going to give my opinion from a publicist perspective. I think there could have been a more tasteful way to do it in terms of like protecting her own public image, but maybe she just really doesn't care, and maybe she's like, I'm happy and I'm not gonna be someone I'm not. And if that's true, then more power to her. That said, I don't think it needed to be so publicly announced so soon. It is a little, the way they did it is asking for criticism and asking for skepticism around the way their relationship came to be. So if I was telling her what to do, I wouldn't have told her to do it that way, but she did. And, you know, maybe they're match made in heaven. Colton Underwood. I watched his documentary. I was sobbing, crying the entire time, stains on my pillows. I tagged him in my story being like, I stained my pillow, and he replied back and he goes, oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. Listen, you guys know I try to always lead with empathy. I don't think the documentary excuses his behavior towards Cassie. I think what he did to her was wrong. I think he knows it was wrong. He said multiple times, I fucked up. I was wrong. This isn't excused. I feel awful. I think he took accountability, and I think I empathize with someone who's closeted for 20-something years of their life because he felt a pain that, like, I can't imagine, and a discomfort that I can't imagine, and it doesn't excuse what he went through. But I think this documentary actually has a really good chance of helping children, like people that are sitting in middle of America in conservative families who are closeted and playing sports. I think hopefully this could help push them to maybe come out much younger so they're not living as adults in the closet. So I think the documentary actually could do really great things. So I'm pleased to see this kind of programming. Would it have been nice if it was someone that didn't have these types of allegations against them? Of course. But that's just not the fact of the matter. And Netflix decided to move forward with it regardless. So that's that on that. Excuse me. Next, if you guys hear something in the back, it's the heater. I don't know what's going on. Next is the Sex and the City reboot, Just Like That. And it is the ultimate Hibly. If you are new here, Hibly stands for hate it but love it. It's when you hate something so much that you love it. And Just Like That is a Hibly. So let me explain why. It's so bad, but you love it. Like, we're going to watch the whole season, right? Like, we have to. I think the first episode, I was really surprised by the acting and by how forced the conversations felt. They felt very, like, robotic and almost out of practice. And I'm like, you guys are friends. Just, like, be chill. It felt like it was almost like, okay, now it's your time to say your lines. Now it's your time to say your lines versus them just having a conversation. I think by the second episode, things were more fluid, and I'm hoping the season only progresses. Again, it's cute. Like, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's cute. Like, if you enjoy the girls, if you enjoy the show, whatever. Spoiler alert, moving forward. Big obviously dies. We know. Sorry if I just spoiled that for you.
No, it's okay. It's all over the internet anyways.
Yeah. And I think maybe because I saw the spoilers, I wasn't shocked because everyone was talking about it. I also think I had heard those rumors before the show even went to air that Big was going to be dead. So I think I'm just like, whatever. I don't feel like we need him for the show to be successful because I think single Carrie could be awesome. So I'm not as bothered as everyone else, if I'm being completely honest. The masturbation scene with him was extremely uncomfortable. Like, I hated it. My skin was crawling. But yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. You guys know no matter how much you shit on it, you're going to watch it too. And that's why it's the ultimate Hibly. All right, guys, that's it for this week's episode. If you are new here and you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, leave a review. It's the best way for us to measure how successful the episode was. And I hope to see you next Tuesday.